Hello, today's our topic is induction motor, which is in subject design of AC machine. In a previous semester, we study about design of DC machine and design of transformer. Now in this subject, we study on the design of AC machine. A AC machine mainly including a synchronous motor and a induction motor. A induction motor mainly two types. First one is a squirrel cage motor and a slip ring motor. Or also based on the its phase, the induction motor divided in two parts, which is single phase and three phase induction motor. In our previous semester, we study about the AC machine. In this semester, we study on design of AC machine. In AC machine, we discussed about the construction, a working principle of induction motor, and also the operating characteristic of induction motor. Now, in this subject, we study on the different parameter, different signification of induction motor, and design a three-phase induction motor, and how the number of factors are affecting for the design of induction motor we studied. In this lecture, we study about introduction of induction motor, or we say that a revision of an induction motor. And then next lecture, we study on the design of induction motor. Now, what is induction motor? An induction motor, which also known as the synchronous motor, and is commonly used as an AC electrical motor. In an induction motor, the electrical current in the rotor need to produce torque, which is obtained by electromagnetic induction. The rotor of an induction motor can be a squirrel cage or a wound type rotor. Induction motors are referred to as a asynchronous motor because they operate at a speed less than their synchronous speed. So, first thing we understand that what is synchronous speed? A synchronous speed is the speed of rotation of the magnetic field in a rotary machine, and it depends upon the frequency and number of poles of the machine. Induction motor always run at speed less than its synchronous speed, and the rotating magnetic field produced in the stator will create flux in the rotor, hence causing the rotor to rotate due to the lag between flux current in the rotor and the flux current in the stator. The rotor will never reach its rotating magnetic field speed, which is we call the synchronous speed. There are basically two types of induction motor. The types of induction motor depends upon the input supply. A single phase induction motor and a three phase induction motor. A single phase induction motor are not a self starting motor, and three phase induction motor are self starting motor. Induction motor are used worldwide in many residential, commercial, industrial and utility application. Induction motor transform electrical energy into mechanical energy, and it can be a part of pump or fan or connected to some other mechanical equipment such as winder, conveyor or mixture. Now in three-phase AC motor, the three-phase induction motor is a very popular in the industry due to it has some merits like it's very compact and a simple construction. Shape and weight is small in comparison with other types of machines. Its cost is very less and very easy for repairing and rewinding. So the maintenance cost is very low. In operation, it required less attention. Efficiency is better. A frictional loss are lesser, it is self-starting, and also the sparkless operation. Now, some of the drawback of a induction motor is like a wide range and smooth speed variation is difficult in an induction motor. A speed variation arrangement are not reliable and not cheaper. Its efficiency decrease if the speed variation are done, and starting torque is not more and it's inferior. Now, due to the above drawback of this motor, it is not used where the high starting torque is required, and also where the frequently speed change is required. Otherwise, this motor meets the requirement of industry and find a large range of application. To understand the working of induction motor, we should revise the portion of transformer, which they are studying in the subject transformer. And the induction motor theory is in many respects similar to the transformer theory. And many times the induction motor is said to be a generalized transformer. Now the construction of induction motor. An induction motor has two main parts, a stator and rotor. Here we see in the figure, there is a stator which is a stationary part. In between stator, we use a rotor which is rotating part. Now first of all we see the stator. The name suggests it's a stationary part of motor, and this part is made of silicon steel stamping, and its seats are very thin. The stamping are slotted. Here we see in the figure, there is a number of slots are there. When complete starter is assembled, the slot are formed on the inner side of the stator. Here we see that, and the slot may be open type, may be closed type, semi-enclosed type. Generally, a closed type slot which has higher value of flux transfer, or we say it's a higher magnetic loading, but there is a less cooling effect, or maintenance is very poor. But in open type slots generally are very the flux leakage flux is higher, output is lower, but the cooling is very higher. So we use a open type and semi closed of slots much. A three-phase winding made of super enamelled copper, and is and the winding may be a star or delta connected. These three ends of this winding are brought out into the terminal blocks where three-phase AC supply can be connected. Here we see that a terminal blocks where three-phase supply are connected. The stator winding, stator and AC supply connected to the stator winding. Here we see that are a three-phase type of winding, a three-phase motor. Now, rotor. Induction motor mainly a rotor has two types. First one is a squirrel cage rotor and wound rotor type. A squirrel cage rotor, generally we see that this is the simplest and most rugged construction. The rotor consists of cylindrical laminated core. Here we see in the figure a squirrel cage rotor and the cylindrical laminated core. Here we see that with skew rotor slot. Now question arrived on our mind, why the skewing happen in the rotor? First of all, there are in induction motor there is a number of problems like noise, vibration, cogging. So We want to reduce or eliminate this problem with the skewing either the stator or the rotor. Generally, the rotor bar are skewed by angle just sufficient to cause induction of two equal and opposite harmonic EMF in each bar. And thus, bar must be skewed such that they should lie under the alternate harmonic pole of same polarity, so that they are skewed through two pole pitch. Now, the rotor, squirrel cage rotor conductor are thick copper bar. Here we see that are placed in a slot and are braced or welded to an end ring. So here is a number of slotted slots. In this slot we put the thick copper bar and it's sorted at the end ring so that it's permanently short circuited. Therefore, it is not possible to add any external resistance in the rotor circuit. The rotor body is made of silicon steel tamping, and the construction of the rotor look like a cage of squirrel, and hence it's called a squirrel cage type rotor or a squirrel cage type of motor. Now second is a wound type rotor with slip ring. This type of induction motor, the rotor is wound for the same number of pole as that on the stator. The rotor is made up of lamination with slot on the outer periphery in which a three-phase rotor winding is placed. The three phases are steered internally and the remaining three terminals are brought out and connected to the slip ring mounted on the shaft. Here we see in the figure the slip ring. The slip rings are made up of copper or phosphorus bronze. There are three brushes resulting on them. There are three brushes. We see that here resting on them. And external connection to the additional resistance are done at the brush. When running under the normal condition, the slip rings are short circuited by a metal collar which is pushed along the shaft and the brushes are lifted from the slip ring. Here it is used to reduce the frictional losses and wear. As a regular three-phase winding is used for rotor, this type is called a phase wound rotor type, and it's also called as a slip ring type motor. Here is we see the sectional view of slip ring type three-phase induction motor and the slip ring. Now the other construction for the three-phase induction motor. There are a number of parts in the induction motor. First one is a frame. Here we see that a frame generally made up of a material like cast iron, and its function is to support the core and project inner parts. Now stator core. A stator core which is made of silicon steel and it houses the stator winding. Here we see in the figure. And third one is in stator winding. Stator winding are made of copper and also insulated. It produces rotating magnetic field. Now the rotor core. Here the rotor core made of silicon steel and it houses the rotor winding. Now rotor winding which is made of copper and also insulated and it produces rotor current. Now next one is an air gap. A air gap we in between stator and rotor we have an air gap. To provide the gap in a rotor as a starter, here is the air gap. Because of air gap, there is no vibration or no or less friction. If we if the air gap is if air gap is less, then output becomes higher. But due to the some saturation point of view, the air gap between the stator and rotor, we have not choose to a some minimum value. Now, air inlet outlet for the air circulation, here inlet outlet, cooling fan. The purpose of cooling fan is to produce air circulation in a rotor, and it's made up of aluminum. Slip ring. A slip ring is made of phosphorus bronze or a copper, and connect the resistance to rotor circuit via brushes. Brushes which is made of carbon and provide connection between resistance and slip ring. Now shaft, which is made of steel, and it gives the support to the rotor. Now the working of three-phase induction motor. When a three-phase stator winding is fed from a three-phase AC supply, then a magnetic flux is set up which has a constant magnitude and rotating at the synchronous speed. The magnetic flux cuts the rotor conductor which are stationary, and due to the relative speed between the rotating flux and the stationary conductor, the EMF is induced in the conductor. The frequency of this induced EMF is same as the supply frequency, and magnitude which is proportional to relative velocity and its direction, which is given by the Fleming right-hand rule. Since the conductor from a complete closed circuit, the rotor current are produced, and according to Lenz's law, the current tries to oppose the relative speed. Hence, rotor start rotating in the same direction as that of flux and try to catch up with it. The stator magnetic field at one instant, and it's acting downward and also rotating in clockwise direction. The field is cut by the stationary rotor conductor and the EMF is produced in the conductor. The direction of this EMF is found by Fleming right-hand rule, and this EMF we have shown in the rotor conductor, and the rotor current is circulated, and this current will produce its own flux, and the resultant flux is that the force is produced on the rotor conductor and rotor start rotating in the same direction as the rotating magnetic field. The rotor never catch up with the stator field due to the friction and inertia of the rotor, and the induction motor always run at speed slightly less than the synchronous speed, and difference between the two speed is termed as a slip speed. The direction of rotation of the induction motor can be changed by changing the phase sequence of the supply. Now slip and rotor speed. Generally in slip ring motor, we use a term slip. Slip, which is the difference between two speed in terms of slip speed. The rotor speed of induction machine is different from the speed of rotating magnetic field, and the difference of this speed is called a slip. Here you see the equation for the slip, where slip S is equal to Ns minus Nr by Ns, where Ns, which is the synchronous speed, R, which is an actual speed, or a rotor mechanical speed, both which are in RPM, where Nr, which is equal to Ns 1 minus S. Now this equation we find out the slip of induction motor. Under normal operating condition, slip is about 0.01 to 0.05, which is very small, and actual speed is very close to synchronous speed. Here we have to note that a slip is not a negligible value. We have considered slip in our design. Now, rotor speed. When the rotor move at rotor speed, which is called Nr in RPS, the stator flux will circulate the rotor conductor at speed of Ns minus Nr per second. Hence, the frequency of the rotor is written as a frequency of rotor, which is equal to Ns minus S into the P, where S, which is equal to S into F, where S is equal to slip and F, which is equal to supply frequency. Now find out the efficiency of induction motor. So efficiency, which is equal to output upon input. Now here efficiency, which is equal to P out upon P in, where the output of induction motor and input of induction motor. If the losses P losses are given, so output, which is equal to input minus losses, so P input minus losses, where P0, which is equal to Pm minus P mu. Now find out the input which is equal to our source voltage and current into cos theta. So the supply voltage and supply current and into root 3 cos theta, we get the value of our supply power or a input power. So P in is equal to root 3 Vs Is cos theta. Now output we find out by X HP, which is in horsepower of any value, multiply by the 746, and we get the value in a watt P output. Here the difference between slip ring and squirrel cage motor. The basic comparison between slip ring and squirrel cage motor are, first of all, its definition. The slip ring motor, the rotor of the motor is constructed as a slip ring type, and the rotor of the motor or squirrel cage motor is in squirrel cage type. Slip ring motor, cylindrical laminated core with parallel slot, and each slot consists of one bar in a slip ring motor, and the slot of rotor are not parallel but are skewed. The slip ring motor, their name is phase wound rotor, and squirrel cage rotor also called as a cage motor. The construction of slip ring motor, which is complicated, and the construction of squirrel cage motor is simple. The resistance in slip ring motor, the added external resistance to the rotor, where in squirrel cage motor the rotor bar is permanently sorted at the end of with the end ring, and thus it is not possible to add any external resistance. Now the another difference between slip ring and squirrel cage motor, like a stator, the rotor resistance stator can be used, where the rotor resistance stator cannot be used. The starting torque of slip ring induction motor is high, where the squirrel cage motor has low. The brushes requirement in a slip ring motor, but there is absent for a squirrel cage motor. A maintenance, a frequent maintenance required in a slip ring motor, where in a squirrel cage motor, there is a less maintenance required. The copper loss in a slip ring motor is very high, wherein squirrel cage rotor is low. Efficiency of slip ring motor is low, where the squirrel cage motor is high. Speed control in a slip ring motor possible, but for a squirrel cage motor there is not possible because there is no any resistance we add, or there is no any value of current we have changing. Now the power factor for the slip ring motor is low, where power factor for the squirrel cage motor is high. The cost of slip ring motor is very high, and the cost of squirrel cage motor is low. A starting current for a slip ring motor is low, where starting current for the squirrel cage motor is high. They use a hoist, cranes, elevator where high torque is required, but squirrel cage motor were used in machines, fans, blowers, profiting machines, and etc. Now the squirrel cage motor are generally used in many industries, and 80% of a motor are squirrel cage or an induction type motor in industries. Because it's a simple construction and a better efficiency, mostly a squirrel cage motor is used in industries. Now in this lecture we study about the introduction of induction motor, or we say the basic about the induction motor. Now in next lecture we started a design of AC machine. In design of AC machine we have start a topic, a design of induction motor. For design of induction motor we have to study on some specification or some symbols. First we study about some basics parameter for the design, and then we study derive the output equation, and which the output equation give us a flux density and current density and the main dimension value. After output equation we derived some equation for some factors which are affecting the our number of part or number of parameters of AC machine. Thank you.